Shella Buliag, and today we're going to discuss what is global cities. Global cities are major urban centers that typically have a significant influence in a worldwide scale, serving as a primary hub for global business, finance, and culture, such as the New York in United States, London in United Kingdom, and Paris in France. These are top 3 global cities all over the world. But the question here is, what makes global cities a global cities? Here's why. It is because of globalization. It is because globalization is spatial. What does it mean when we say spatial? When we say spatial, it refers to things related to its space or location. So globalization is a spatial phenomenon. It is because it happens in physical space. Foreign investment, economic opportunities, and human capital. But first, let us discuss physical space that physically transform places, especially cities, into global hubs. For example, Paris. Paris is a city in France, but because Paris have the capability to produce their products to different country, or we can say globally, Paris is now known as global city because Paris is the home of Eiffel Tower, in which it makes their city a top tourist destination. Second, Paris is home of fashion. So when we say fashion, of course, it refers to clothing. Paris can produce their products in their cities and to their fellow cities in France, but can also provide their products all over the world. That's why it makes the city a global city, and it transforms from a city into a global hub. Second, let's discuss foreign investment. This refers to the movement of capital across national borders primarily through foreign direct investment, or FDI. Companies move capital and resources to other countries to start, acquire, or expand operation. For example, a major Japanese automotive company building a new manufacturing plant in Mexico. So although the Japanese firm invests capital into a new physical facility in a foreign country to produce goods which are often exported globally. So in short, foreign investment is the movement of capital and resources. Next, we have economic opportunities. When we say economic opportunities, this refers to avenues for profit and growth. Trade liberalization and advancement in technology allow business to sell goods and services to worldwide customers base and create global value chains. For example, the establishment of call centers and IT outsourcing firms in countries like India, Philippines, that will create a numerous high-volume service sector jobs for local population, allowing them to participate in global economy by providing services to companies in North America and Europe. Lastly, we have human capital. Human capital refers to the economic value of workers, the workers' experience, and its skills. So, through globalization, it helps the transfer of knowledge, skills, and management expertise. Because, of course, companies seek out specialized or low-cost labor globally, leading to the international migration of skilled and unskilled workers. For example, international technology company recruiting software engineers from all over the world and bringing them to its headquarters in Silicon Valley for employing them on remote, globally distributed teams. It is an example of assessing and moving human capital across borders. So, globalization plays a vital role for a city. It helps the city improve its status And of course, cities must adapt globalization in order to improve the quality of their city and the status of their city. Therefore, cities act on globalization and globalization act on cities. That's it. That's for my part, and the next topic will be discussed by my co-reporter. Thank you.
So now let's proceed to defining world or defining global city. So a global city, also called world city or sometimes alpha city or world center. So it's a city which is a primary node in the global economic network. So it means a global city is a very important city that connects the world's economy. So it has a big influence on what happens in business, finance, and innovation around the world. So command points in the organization of the world economy. So it means it helps guide and control the world's economy. The next one is key location and marketplaces for finance and specialized services. So it means it is a major center for banks, finance, and specialized services. The next one is major sites of production, including innovation. So it is a place where new products and ideas are created. The next one is globalization actually enhances the rules of cities. So it means globalization makes these cities even more important because countries are more connected. So the last one is all cities operate in the global system. So it means all cities are part of the global systems, but global cities are the key players. And that would be all.
Good day everyone. My name is Marvijoy Delagao from BTL Ed ICT 3A. So today we will going to discuss the sociologist Saskia Sassen. So sociologist Saskia Sassen popularized the term global city in 1990s. So who is Saskia Sassen? She is a sociologist and urban scholar who studied cities, globalization, and economic power. So, in the 1990s, she introduced the idea of a global city to explain how some of the cities became central to the world economy. What does the term global city mean? A global city is a city that has moved beyond being just a big or famous city. Her criteria for what constitutes a global city were primarily economic. So, her focus was mostly economic, primarily economic, which means about money, business, and financial activities. So, in her work, she initially identified 3 global cities, and those are New York, London, and Tokyo. All of these countries are hubs of global finance and capitalism. A hub is a central place where things connect, gather, or happen. New York has the New York Stock Exchange. London has the Financial Times Stock Exchange. And Tokyo has the Nikkei. So, New York is considered a global city primarily because it is home to the New York Stock Exchange, or NYSE. London's significance as a global city lies in its financial sector and the Financial Times Stock Exchange, or FTSE. And last, Tokyo plays a major role in global finance because of its Nikkei Stock Exchange and strong corporate economy. What is Nikkei? Nikkei is a number that shows how well the biggest companies in Japan are performing in the stock market. And that would be all. Thank you.
Okay, bright day everyone. I am Julia Nexter and today I will going to discuss the cities that are considered important global cities. So these cities are highlighted because they are the major center of different important things. So first is we have the Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is famous as the movie making mecca, meaning it's the main place where the movies and entertainment are made. Next we have the San Francisco. San Francisco is known as the home of the most powerful internet companies, like the big technology companies we use every day. Next is we have here the Shanghai, Beijing, and Guangzhou. So those cities are important as the centers of trade and finance in the region. So there were a lot of business and money deals happen. Next we have the Melbourne and Australia. So Melbourne and Australia is mentioned as the world's most livable city, which means it's a great place to live based on things like healthcare, education, and stability. So basically, those are the example of cities that are very important around the world because of what they do, whether it's making movies, running big tech companies, or making a business.
Indicators for globality. First, we will tackle the economic power. Economic power largely determines which cities are global. This means that a city becomes global if it has a strong economy. The stronger the business and financial activity, the more important the city becomes in the world. New York, with the largest stock market, and Tokyo houses the most number of corporate headquarters. New York is a global city because it has the biggest stock market where billions of dollars move every day. Tokyo is also global because it has many of the world's biggest companies located there. This makes both cities major centers of international businesses. Shanghai plays a critical role in the global economic supply chain ever since China became the manufacturing center of the world. Shanghai became important because it helps connect the world to China's factories. Many products sold worldwide pass through Shanghai, making it a key player in global trade. Economic opportunities in a global city make it attractive to talents across the world. People from different countries want to work in global cities because they offer good jobs, high salaries, and many career opportunities. This attracts skilled workers from all over the world. To measure the economic competitiveness of a city, the Economist Intelligence Unit has added other criteria like market size, purchasing power of citizens, size of the middle class, and potential for growth. Experts check how strong a city's economy is by looking at several factors. First, market size. How big the business market is. Purchasing power. How much people can buy with their income. Middle class size. More middle class people means a stable economy. Growth potential. How much the city can still develop in the future. This helps determine if a city truly has global economic power.
Washington, D.C. is not as rich as New York City, but is the center of political power in the United States. So Washington, D.C. is where the United States government is based. It has the White House, where the president lives, the Capitol building, where the Congress makes laws, and the Supreme Court, where they interprets the law. So big national decisions about economy, military, education, and foreign policy are made there. New York City, on the other hand, is the country's financial and business capital. It is a home to Wall Street, major banks, companies, and the stock exchange. So, where a huge amount of money move every day. That's why New York is much wealthier than Washington, D.C. So, in short, Washington DC holds the political power, it runs the country, while New York City holds the economic power that drives the countries to wealth. The United Nations is an international organization made up of almost every countries in the world. Its main goals is to promote peace, security, and cooperation among all nations. So the headquarters of the United Nations is in New York City. From there, world leaders and diplomats meet to discuss global issues such as war, human rights, climate change, and poverty. So although New York is part of the United States, the UN building itself is considered as an international territory not under US law, right? The European Union is a group of European countries that work together and share issues like trade, laws, and travel. So Brussels is the capital of Belgium. It's known for the home of EU or European Union because most of the main institutions are located there. So this includes the European Commission, the European Council, and the session of the European Parliament. So that's why Brussels is often called the capital of Europe. It's where major EU decisions are made. Association of Southeast Asian Nation or the ASEAN. So the ASEAN organization brings together countries in the Southeast Asia to promote economic growth, peace, and regional cooperation. The main headquarters of ASEAN is in Jakarta, which is the capital city of Indonesia. From there, ASEAN leaders and officials plan and coordinate projects that help member countries work together more closely. So Jakarta is the center of Southeast Asian cooperation.
Greetings once again, everyone. Now, we're diving into what makes a city truly global. And one of these is the city as a center for higher learning and culture. This status is a critical indicator of globality. Why? Because it defines the city's intellectual reach. Consider the publishing industry in New York, London, and Paris aren't just market centers, but they are also narrative factories. When the influential books like textbooks, novels, and political treatises that shape global thoughts are published, these cities are effectively setting the international agenda. They control the conversation, and this power is anchored by higher learning. The presence of institutions like Harvard University in Boston doesn't just grant prestige. It creates a massive intellectual singularity. It pulls the world's best students and brightest researchers to one place. When these graduates disperse, they carry the host city's intellectual culture and connections with them, extending its influence across continents. Beyond the written world, we have the immense power of mass culture. Los Angeles, as the hub of the American film industry, exports not just entertainment, but also influence. Hollywood shapes global desires, fashions, and social norms. In the modern era, a global city must be a global storyteller, projecting its cultural products through film, music, and art. Ultimately, these two forces, the intellectual and culture, leads to diversity. This diversity is the source of its creative vitality, ensuring that its cultural and intellectual products have a universal resonance that keeps it at the very heart of the global stage.
Global cities are vibrant hubs of culture, innovation, and opportunities. However, they also face significant challenges that impact the lives of their residents. What are those? Let's explore these complexities. First, it is stated here that global cities conjure up images of fast-paced, exciting, cosmopolitan lifestyles. When we say cosmopolitan, it is a place with people and cultures from many different countries. This means cities like New York, Tokyo, or Manila are busy cities with people from different backgrounds, offering different cultural experiences, foods, and job opportunities. For example, Singapore is known for its mix of cultures, and you can try foods from China, Malaysia, and India in just one day. But there's another side to global cities. Global cities have their undersides. They can be great sites of inequality, poverty, and tremendous violence. This means cities like Mumbai, Rio, or Manila have big difference between rich and poor, leading to social and economic problems. For example, Manila's rich areas like Makati are very different from the poor areas like Tondo, showing the city's big economic divide. In summary, global cities have both good and bad sides. To make them better, we have to address problems like inequality, poverty, and violence so that everyone can live a good life.
Let's discuss gentrification. It is a process where an old or low-income neighborhood is changed by the arrival of wealthier people. This usually leads to a new business, better buildings, and higher property prices. But it also often pushes out long-time poorer residents who can no longer afford to live there. In simple terms, gentrification is neighborhood improvement, rising costs, and displacement of old residents. For example, Brooklyn, New York City, USA. For many years, parts of Brooklyn like Williamsburg were home to working class families and artists because rent was cheap. In the 2000s, wealthier people started moving in, and developers built modern apartments, cafes, and shops. The area became trendy. And more expensive. Property values and rent increased sharply. Many original residents and small businesses were forced to move because they could no longer afford the rising cost. Two two kinds of effect, which is positive and negative. Positive: cleaner environment, better housing, improved safety, and new economic opportunities. On the other hand, the negative effect: loss of community, cultural change, and displacement of long-time residents.
Conclusion. We have 5 bullets of conclusion. We will discuss it one by one. So the first bullet states here that global cities are sites and mediums of globalization. This means that global cities, both places where globalization happen, and tools that help it spread. These cities include like New York, London, Tokyo, and Manila. Connects countries through trade, communication, culture, and finance. They act as centers of global interaction, where international business, people, and ideas came together. So that's the first bullet states 4. Now let's proceed to the second bullet. We have here, they are the materials representation of the phenomenon. So this means that global cities are the visible and concrete example of globalization. When we talk about globalization, it might sound abstract, but they're looking for a global cities. We can actually see globalization in action. The tall buildings, multinational companies,
diverse population, and advanced technologies. And these cities all, so this called represent how the world is connected. Now, let's proceed to the third bullet. So, it states here that through them, we see the best of globalization. What does it mean? So this means that this line emphasizes the positive side of globalization that global cities showcase in these cities. You can find innovation, economic growth, cultural exchange, and modern lifestyle. So they offer opportunities for education, business, and career advancement. So global cities highlight how globalization can lead to progress and develop. So how about the fourth bullet? So the fourth bullet, it states here, they are also places that generate tremendous wealth. So what does it mean? So that global cities are economic powerhouses. They are home to big companies, banks, and industry, and also trade centers that generate a huge amount of wealth. Many inventors and entrepreneurs choose to do business there because of their strong infrastructure and international networks. As a result, global cities often contribute significantly to the national and even global economy. So how about the last bullet, which is the fifth bullet? So it states here that they also remain as sites of great inequalities where global servants serve global entrepreneurs. So what does it mean? So this means that while global cities are rich and progressive, they also have a deep social and economic inequalities. This means that the wealth is not shared equally. Many low-wage workers such as domestic helper, divers, and service staff support the lifestyles and businesses of wealthy professional entrepreneurs. This shows that unequal side of globalization, where not everyone benefits in the same way. So, in summary, or in short, that global cities shows both sides of globalization, which mean they are centers of wealth, progress, and cultural diversity, but also places where inequality and social diversion are clearly seen. So that will be all. Thank you for your listening. I hope you understand my discussion right now.